There was a time when Shetty did everything society told him he was supposed to do. He followed the traditional path, going to school, earning a degree, and working toward a successful career. From the outside, it looked like he was on track for a great life. But deep inside, something wasn't right. No matter how much he achieved, there was a persistent emptiness, a sense that something was missing. The life he was building wasn't bringing him the happiness or fulfillment he had expected. Then something unexpected happened. He met a monk. Here was a man who had none of the things society tells us are essential for success. No wealth, no status, no luxury. Yet he radiated something far more valuable: peace, clarity, and happiness. That encounter changed everything. Jay realized that if he wanted to understand true happiness, he needed to learn from those who had mastered it. And so, he did something most people would never dare. He walked away from the life he had built, left everything behind, and moved to an ashram to train as a monk. For years, he practiced mindfulness, discipline, and detachment. He woke up before sunrise, meditated for hours, and learned to control his thoughts. But eventually, he came to an important realization. Not everyone can, or should, become a monk, but everyone can learn to think like one. The key to happiness, purpose, and inner peace isn't about giving up everything. It's about training your mind to see and handle life differently. Hey everyone, I'm Bix, and welcome back to Bix Book Summary, where we break down life-changing books in a way that's engaging, practical, and easy to apply. Today, we're diving into Think Like a Monk by Shetty, a book that teaches us how to find peace, focus, and purpose in a world full of distractions and pressure. If you've ever felt lost, overwhelmed, or stuck in negative thinking, this book has the power to shift your perspective completely. Because here's the truth. Our biggest struggles don't come from the outside world. They come from within. The way we think shapes everything. Monks aren't born with special abilities. They just learn to think differently. And if we can adopt even a fraction of their mindset, we can transform our lives without ever having to leave our homes. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to let go of negativity, stop chasing things that don't bring real happiness, and reprogram your mind to focus on what truly matters. And no, this isn't about religion. It's about mastering your thoughts, overcoming negativity, and living with purpose. So let's dive in. From the moment we are born, we are handed an identity, wrapped in expectations, shaped by the voices of society, and defined by labels that tell us who we are supposed to be. We grow up believing that success looks a certain way. Good grades, a respected job, wealth, status, the perfect relationship. Without even questioning it, most of us spend our lives chasing a version of success that isn't even ours. Shetty calls this the false self, the version of us molded by external influences. Think about it. How many of your goals are truly yours? How often have you stopped to question the beliefs you hold? How much of your life is dictated by what others expect from you rather than what you actually want? Monks believe that before we can find peace, we must strip away these external expectations and ask ourselves the most important question: who am I, really? For years, Jay was running after the wrong things: status, validation, approval. But when he stepped away from the noise and immersed himself in monastic life, he realized that true happiness doesn't come from external success. It comes from within. The first step in thinking like a monk is understanding the difference between the false self and the true self. The false self is built on comparison, ego, and fear. It thrives on external validation, constantly seeking approval, recognition, and proof of worth. The true self, on the other hand, is rooted in values, purpose, and authenticity. It is who you are when no one is watching, free from the pressures of society, the expectations of family, and the constant need to measure up. Most people never stop to question their path. They assume that following the traditional script, study hard, get a good job, buy a house, settle down, will bring happiness. But what happens when you achieve all of that and still feel unfulfilled? The moment you begin to question whether you're living your own dream or someone else's, life starts to change. This is why monks dedicate time to solitude, meditation, and deep reflection, not to escape life, but to understand it on a deeper level. You don't need to live in an ashram to do this. You simply need to pause, reflect, and be honest with yourself. Start questioning your desires. Ask yourself, do I really want this? Or have I been told I should want it? If no one was watching, would I still be doing this? What brings me deep, lasting joy, beyond money or recognition? When you start defining success on your own terms, everything shifts. You stop chasing things that don't fulfill you, and you start aligning your life with what truly matters. That is where real peace begins. But even when we gain clarity, something still holds us back. The mental clutter, the distractions, the negativity that fills our minds every single day. If we don't learn to clear this noise, we'll always feel weighed down by stress, doubt, and outside influence. And that's what we'll talk about next. How to quiet the noise, let go of negativity, and create space for real peace and focus. Every day, our minds are flooded with distractions, worries, and a constant stream of information. From the moment we wake up, our phones light up with notifications, social media pulls us into endless comparisons, and the world around us demands our attention. Without realizing it, our minds become cluttered, filled with stress, doubt, and negativity. The more noise we absorb, the harder it becomes to think clearly, stay calm, and focus on what truly matters. Monks understand that the mind is like a room. If it's filled with clutter, there's no space for peace. That's why they dedicate time every single day to clearing their mental space. They don't allow unnecessary distractions to control them. They choose what enters their minds, just like we choose what enters our homes. If you allow negativity, self-doubt, and endless comparison to take up space, those are the thoughts that will shape your reality. But if you consciously remove what doesn't serve you, you create room for clarity, purpose, and inner calm. The first step to clearing mental clutter is becoming aware of what's filling your mind. Most of us don't even notice how much negativity we consume daily. The news thrives on fear, social media thrives on comparison, and casual conversations often revolve around complaints and gossip. Each negative input adds another layer of stress, doubt, or insecurity. But the moment you start paying attention, you take back control. Shetty teaches a simple but powerful technique, the spot, stop, and swap method. First, spot the negative thoughts or influences in your life. Pay attention to what triggers stress, insecurity, or distraction. Is it a certain news feed? A toxic conversation? A habit that drains your energy? Then, stop allowing those things to control you. Whether that means limiting social media time, stepping away from negativity, or choosing to disengage from gossip, make a conscious decision to remove what isn't serving you. Finally, swap it with something positive. Replace news overload with reading something inspiring. Replace self-doubt with affirmations. Replace distractions with intentional moments of stillness. Over time, these small changes don't just help you feel better, they actually rewire your brain for peace and focus. Another powerful practice monks use to clear mental clutter is meditation. Most people think meditation is about sitting in silence and forcing the mind to be empty. But in reality, it's about learning to observe your thoughts without getting attached to them. Imagine your thoughts as cars passing by on a road. You don't have to chase them or jump inside each one. You can just watch them go by. Meditation trains you to do the same with your mind, to see your thoughts without letting them control you. By regularly clearing mental clutter, you create space for what truly matters. You stop reacting impulsively to every thought and start choosing how to respond. You gain the ability to stay calm under pressure, focus on your goals without being constantly distracted, and find peace even in the chaos of everyday life. But even when we clear the noise, something still holds many people back. Fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of stepping into the unknown. And that's what we'll talk about next. How to break free from fear and build unshakable confidence. Fear is one of the biggest barriers that holds people back from truly living. It stops them from taking risks, speaking up, pursuing dreams, and stepping outside of their comfort zones. The problem is, most people don't even realize how much fear controls their lives. They stay in jobs they hate because they fear uncertainty. They hold back from expressing themselves because they fear judgment. They don't chase their dreams because they fear failure. But monks see fear differently. Instead of running from it or letting it dictate their choices, they train their minds to face it, understand it, and move through it. Fear isn't the enemy. It's just a signal. It points us toward what makes us uncomfortable, what challenges us, and what pushes us beyond our limits. The problem is, most people interpret fear as a stop sign. When they feel afraid, they assume it means they shouldn't move forward. But monks know that fear isn't a reason to stop, it's an invitation to grow. The more you learn to embrace fear, the less control it has over you. Shetty teaches that the key to overcoming fear is to break it down. When fear arises, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Most fears are just thoughts, not actual threats. The fear of failure is often just the fear of embarrassment. The fear of change is usually the fear of uncertainty. The fear of rejection is often just the fear of not being enough. But once you break fear down, you realize that most of it isn't real. It's created by your mind. And if your mind created it, your mind can change it. One of the most powerful ways to conquer fear is through repetition. The more you face what scares you, the less power it has over you. If speaking in public makes you anxious, practice speaking more often. If taking risks makes you nervous, start with small risks and build from there. Confidence doesn't come from waiting until you feel ready. It comes from acting even when you don't feel ready. Every time you step into fear, instead of avoiding it, you train your mind to stop seeing it as a threat. Monks also practice detachment to remove fear's hold. Most people fear failure because they tie their self-worth to success. But when you detach from results and focus on the process, you take away fear's power. If you succeed, great. If you fail, you learn. Either way, you grow. When you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable because you understand that every setback is just another step toward success. By shifting your mindset around fear, you build unshakable confidence. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop needing approval from others. You stop letting doubt control your decisions. Instead, you take action, step into challenges, and trust that no matter what happens, you will handle it. But even after conquering fear, there's still one final step that monks focus on above everything else: finding true purpose and fulfillment in life. And that's what we'll explore next. Many people go through life checking all the right boxes, getting a good job, achieving goals, following the path that society has laid out. Yet despite their success, there's often a quiet voice inside that asks, is this really it? They may have everything they once thought they wanted, but something still feels missing. That's because true fulfillment doesn't come from achievements, money, or recognition. It comes from living in alignment with your purpose. Monks believe that purpose isn't something you find. It's something you uncover. It's already within you, waiting to be realized. The reason most people struggle with purpose is that they are looking for it in the wrong places. They think purpose is about what they do, but it's really about why they do it. Purpose isn't just a career, a title, or a specific goal. It's how you use your strengths to serve something greater than yourself. Shetty teaches that the best way to discover your purpose is to pay attention to what excites you, what energizes you, and what problems you feel drawn to solve. The things that make you lose track of time, the activities that come effortlessly, the skills you naturally enjoy, these are all clues pointing you toward what you are meant to do. But many people ignore these signs because they believe purpose has to be something grand or world-changing. The truth is, purpose isn't about scale, it's about impact. You don't have to change the entire world to live with purpose. You just have to show up every day and contribute in a way that feels meaningful to you. The key to living with purpose is shifting your focus from what can I get to how can I serve? When you start seeing your work, relationships, and daily actions as opportunities to give rather than just receive, life takes on a deeper meaning. It's not about chasing happiness, it's about finding fulfillment in how you contribute to the world. One of the biggest obstacles to purpose is comparison. People often feel like they aren't making an impact because they compare themselves to others who seem more successful. But monks teach that purpose isn't about being the best, it's about being useful. It's about showing up in your own way, at your own pace, and giving what you can. Whether you impact one person or 1,000,000 people, what matters is that you are living in alignment with what truly matters to you. When you start living with purpose, everything shifts. Work no longer feels like just work. It becomes an extension of who you are. Challenges become easier to navigate because you know they are part of something bigger. Instead of feeling lost or stuck, you wake up each day with clarity and direction. At this point, we've explored how to clear mental clutter, overcome fear, and live with purpose. But the final lesson monks teach is perhaps the most important of all: how to sustain peace and joy every single day, no matter what life throws at you. And that's what we'll dive into next. Many people live with the belief that happiness is something they'll achieve someday, when they land the perfect job, when they earn more money, when they find the right relationship. But monks see happiness differently. They don't see it as something to chase. They see it as something that already exists within us, something that can be cultivated right now, no matter where we are in life. True joy isn't waiting for us in the future. It's created in the present. One of the biggest lessons monks teach is that peace isn't a destination. It's a daily practice. Most people assume that once they solve all their problems, they'll finally feel at peace. But life will always bring new challenges. There will always be stress, uncertainty, and difficult moments. The key isn't to wait for life to be perfect. It's to train your mind to remain calm and joyful even when things aren't. Shetty explains that monks cultivate this inner peace through intentional daily routines. They wake up early, meditate, and reflect before starting their day. They practice gratitude, knowing that even the simplest things, a meal, a conversation, a sunrise, can bring joy when we truly pay attention. They are mindful of the people they surround themselves with and limit the negativity they expose themselves to. These small but powerful habits create a foundation for lasting happiness. Another way monks sustain peace is by letting go of attachment. One of the biggest sources of suffering in life is clinging to things that are temporary: money, success, relationships, status. When we tie our happiness to things outside of us, we give away our power. If a job defines us, we suffer when we lose it. If we rely on someone else for self-worth, we feel broken when they leave. But when we shift our focus inward and find joy in who we are, rather than what we have, we become unshakable. This doesn't mean we shouldn't enjoy life's successes. It means we shouldn't let them control our inner peace. A monk enjoys the beauty of a flower, but doesn't feel devastated when it withers. They appreciate moments, but they don't cling to them. When you stop holding on so tightly to things outside your control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Another essential practice for peace is forgiveness. Not just for others, but for ourselves. Many people carry guilt, regret, or resentment for years, allowing it to steal their peace. But monks understand that holding on to pain only harms us, not the other person. Forgiveness isn't about excusing someone's actions. It's about releasing yourself from the weight of anger. When you forgive, you lighten your heart and create space for more joy. But peace isn't something that just happens. It's a habit. Daily mental practices build emotional resilience. Meditation, gratitude, detachment, and forgiveness aren't just ideas. They are tools that help us stay centered no matter what life throws our way. At this point, we've explored how to clear mental clutter, overcome fear, find purpose, and sustain peace. But the most important lesson of all is how to take everything we've learned and apply it to our daily lives. Because wisdom isn't just about knowing, it's about doing. And that's what we'll talk about in the final section. Learning these ideas is powerful, but knowledge alone isn't enough. Real transformation happens when we apply what we've learned to our daily lives. Most people read books, feel inspired for a moment, and then slip back into old habits. But monks don't just learn, they practice. Their wisdom isn't just something they understand, it's something they live every single day. And if we truly want to experience lasting change, we must do the same. The first step? Start small. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change everything overnight. They decide they're going to wake up at 5 a.m., meditate for an hour, quit social media, and completely transform their mindset all at once. But real change doesn't work like that. It happens gradually. Pick just one habit, a 5-minute morning reflection, a short meditation, a daily gratitude practice, and commit to it. When small habits become second nature, they create a foundation for a more peaceful, purposeful life. Another key lesson is choosing your influences carefully. Our minds are shaped by what we expose ourselves to. If we constantly surround ourselves with negativity, gossip, and distractions, that's what will dominate our thoughts. But if we choose to read uplifting books, spend time with people who inspire us, and consume content that challenges us to grow, our mindset naturally shifts. Monks protect their minds the way most people protect their homes. They don't allow in what doesn't serve them. And we should do the same. One of the simplest yet most powerful practices is being present. Most people live trapped between the past and the future, replaying old mistakes, worrying about things that haven't even happened yet, and missing the beauty of now. But monks train their minds to be fully present in every moment. When they eat, they eat. When they listen, they truly listen. They don't rush through life. They experience it. And when we start practicing this, even the smallest moments, a sip of coffee, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a loved one, become deeply fulfilling. But the most important thing to remember is this: thinking like a monk is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. There will still be challenges. There will still be moments of stress, fear, and frustration. But the difference is that now, instead of reacting impulsively, we have the tools to handle them. Instead of being controlled by negativity, we can choose peace. Instead of chasing empty goals, we can live with real purpose. So here's my challenge to you. Choose just one practice from this book and apply it to your life for the next 7 days. Whether it's a morning gratitude ritual, a few minutes of mindfulness, or consciously letting go of a fear that's been holding you back, start with something small and commit to it. Because when you start thinking like a monk, even in small ways, your life begins to shift in ways you never imagined. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Bix Book Summary. If you want to dive deeper into these teachings, check out the link in the description to grab your own copy of Think Like a Monk. Your support truly means the world. Until next time, stay mindful, stay present, and keep growing.